The weather is warming up and spring break is right around the corner. And while I'm thinking about beach trips and tanning, the Explorers have been busy making buzzer beaters in tournaments. Hello, I'm Riley Kapchuk.
And I'm Gwen Good. Apologies for my on and off appearances these past few weeks, but this week I'm back, and I'm back with some gold around my neck.
Welcome to SportsLine. We've got big wins and all the latest on LaSalle athletics.
And later, I got to sit down with members of the track and field team as they reflected on the end of their indoor season and look ahead for competing outdoors. Be sure to stay tuned for that.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Congratulations to Joni Quinn, who earned a spot on the A10 Conference All-Rookie team.
Number 2, LaSalle men's swimmer Felix Jetbrat earned Atlantic 10 All-Academic honors. Jetbrat also had a tremendous year for the Explorers this season, winning the 100-yard fly 7 times, the 50-yard free 5 times, and the 200-yard free twice this season.
Number 3, LaSalle women's basketball just clutched their first Atlantic 10 tournament win since 2021, when the Explorers defeated Duquesne. It also stands as just the second ever victory by a 14 seed in tournament history.
That's
wow.
exciting. I'm actually really proud for basketball, but we'll get into that later when we talk about their game.
I saw the video of when they won, and it was really cool.
Everyone
was celebrating, the coaches,
definitely.
The team. I think they were very excited. Maybe unexpected. Maybe, but it's cool that they won.
But it happened, and they're advancing, and that's really good, and I'm happy for them.
I'm very excited.
And then swimmer Felix Jetbrat, him and Andrea Savoca, I feel like Andrea got really highlighted a lot last year for his accomplishments, being his first year here. Mm-hmm. Now it's Felix Jetbrat, his name has been mentioned a couple times, but seeing this is good. This is a lot. This is a lot of records.
He's broken a lot of records as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's really amazing for the swim team and him, and maybe they'll get, I don't know, he's not leaving, right? He's not senior?
I think so.
Oh, that's sad.
I know.
That's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recap. This past week, our men's and women's track and field team competed in the 2025 Atlantic 10 Indoor Track and Field Championship. On the women's side, Lexi Rivard fought her way into the finals, clocking a time of 2 minutes, 54.62 seconds in the women's 5K. Helene Usher put together a strong run to secure a third-place finish with a time of 16 minutes, 47.35 seconds to finish day 1. The distance medley relay team of Neve Millet, Soleil Morrison, Lexi Rivard, and Gwen Good stole the show, taking gold with a winning time of 11 minutes, 35 seconds. On day 2, Rivard bested her 1K prelims time in the finals event, recording a time of 2 minutes, 52.22 seconds to earn 4th place. Gwen Good won her second event of the meet with a time of 9 minutes, 44.97 seconds, claiming victory by over 0.6 of a second.
Day 1 saw strong performances from the Explorers, with Callum Murray securing 3rd place in the 1K prelims with a time of 2 minutes and 28 seconds, earning his spot in the finals the next day. In the 5K, McCallum Rowe delivered an impressive performance, claiming silver with a time of 14 minutes and 11 seconds. Teammates Matt Hill and Finn Burney also put up a strong effort, contributing to a solid showing for LaSalle. On day 2, Murray returned to the track for the 1K finals, finishing 6th in 2 minutes and 29 seconds. The event also marked the final indoor A10-mile race for James Petak and Joe Brown-Bitt in the LaSalle vest, making it a special moment for both athletes. In the 3K, Rowe continued his strong performance, achieving a personal best of 8 minutes and 9 seconds to finish 5th overall. Bran Van Duten and David Betts also delivered a standout performances, placing 9th and 10th with a time of 8 minutes and 16 seconds and 8 minutes and 18 seconds respectively, capping off a strong showing for the Explorers.
Water polo traveled across country to California this past weekend. Starting off strong against Whittier, going up 7-1 in the first quarter, the Explorers scored 4 including Martina Bonet-Saez, who earned a hat trick in the first quarter. The second quarter featured more of the same, with LaSalle outscoring the Poets 4-1. Elatis and Carlota Zendali, who were amongst those who scored for the team. The second half featured less action as LaSalle took its foot off the gas. 12 Explorers scored on the day, ending the game with a great 16-4 win. Later that day, they had their second game against Laverne. LaSalle got out to a 6-3 lead in a tight first period. The Explorers led 4-3 with a minute remaining before 2 goals in the final 60 seconds set the tone for the rest of the match. Bonet-Saez led the way with a first quarter hat trick for the second straight game. Lily Kirby blanked the Leopards in a 3-0 second quarter. Sophia Colavu scored twice for LaSalle. Laverne struck first in a 5-2 third quarter. Colavu put up 3 goals in addition to Lomax and Claire Durham scoring. The Explorers blitzes the Leopards in this final quarter, scoring 7 goals. 6 different LaSallians found the back of the net this game, contributing to the final score of 21-8. Day 2, they took on number 10 UC Irvine. LaSalle fell behind early with the Anteaters taking a 10-3 lead into halftime. Co scored twice the second half, mirrored the first, with UCI outscoring LaSalle 10-3. Co again scored twice. Unfortunately, the Explorers couldn't find the rhythm they had the first day, falling 20-6.
The LaSalle women's water polo team played Cal State Fullerton for their third game of the tournament. Cal State Fullerton struck first, scoring the opening 2 goals of the game. However, a LaSalle quickly responded, with Tatum Lomax finding the back of the net twice, followed by a precise shot from Sophia Colavo to give the Explorers a 1-point lead. This second quarter saw a defensive battle, with each team adding just 1 goal, Bonet-Saez securing the tally for LaSalle. The Explorers opened the third quarter with back-to-back goals from Co, but the Tatons answered right back, setting up a tight 6-5 score heading into the final frame. With both teams trading goals, the game was deadlocked at 7 in the closing minutes. Then, with just 1 minute remaining, Francesca Co stepped up and sealed the victory for LaSalle. With a clutch game-winning penalty, the Explorers then went against Consadori for their last game of the tournament. LaSalle came out strong with the first quarter, with 4 different Explorers finding the back of the net. However, Consadoria matched their intensity, keeping the game level at 4-4 by the end of the period. In the second quarter, Tatum Lomax and Sophia Colavo each scored twice, leading LaSalle to outscore Concreadio 5-2 and takes 9-6 advantage at halftime. The Explorers carried their momentum into the third quarter, tightening their defense and extending their lead by outpacing Concatorio 4-1, with Bonet-Saez contributing 2 goals. Despite both teams scoring 3 times in the final frame, LaSalle's dominant performance throughout the match secured them a commanding 16-10 victory. This rounds up a very successful tournament for the Explorers, coming home with 4 wins and 1 loss.
This past Saturday, women's lacrosse played a snowy game against Limon on the road. The Dolphins started things off early, getting on the board in the first 2 minutes. The Explorers responded with a goal from Sam Klein, assisted by Molly Maloney. Tying things up, after a penalty, Lemoyne found themselves down a man. LaSalle took advantage as Jenna Pickard gave the Explorers the lead with a help from Katie Licciardi at the end of the quarter. The Dolphins tied things up again with a score of 2-2 by the second quarter. The snow began to pick up, which led to trouble controlling the ball. Klein put the Explorers on the board yet again after Lemoyne turnover with less than 2 minutes to go. The Dolphins respond, tying things up to go into the half. In the start of the third, both teams fought hard. Mary Babbage stayed strong in the net, making multiple saves. With just 5 minutes left in the third, the Dolphins got one in, breaking the tie. In the next few minutes, Lemoyne broke through, scoring 2 more goals to make it 6-3 game. In the final seconds of the third, Alana Lathan got one to cut the Dolphins' lead. In the fourth, Lemoyne was able to put in 3 more goals, making a comeback for the Explorers even more difficult. In the last few minutes of the game, Mia Riccitelli scored, making the final score a 9-5 loss for the Explorers.
Women's basketball had a back-to-back game with VCU this weekend. Starting with their last regular season game, the Explorers came out firing, opening the game on a 9-2 run, behind a pair of buckets from Aris McToon and a 3 from Joni Armandires. VCU responded strongly, closing the first quarter on a run of its own to trail just 10-9. In the second quarter, both teams traded shots and leads early, with Armandires knocking down 2 triplets to pace the LaSalle. However, the Rams closed the half on a 11-1 run to turn a deficit into a 10-point lead at the break. VCU maintained its edge early in the third, extending the lead to 11 with 6 minutes left, but Armandires kept LaSalle in striking distance, securing 7 points in the final 5 minutes to cut the deficit to 4 heading into the final frame. After VCU scored their first 5 points of the fourth, LaSalle answered with an 8-1 run, capped by Ashley Connor, who scored 4 points in that span to bring the Explorers within 3, trailing 56-51. With under 4 minutes to play, freshman Joni Quinn trained a clutch 3, followed by a layup from Aris Macassa to tie the game at 56 with 3 minutes remaining. McToon then delivered in the clutch, swiping a steal and going coast to coast for a layup and one to put LaSalle up 59-56. With 2.5 minutes left, she added a tip in with 1 minute to go, keeping the Explorers in the front by 3. VCU cut it to 1 with 39 seconds left and had a final chase to win, but a last-second jumper missed the mark, sealing a thrilling 61-60 victory for LaSalle to end their regular season.
They then saw VCU again, but this time in their first A-10 championship game. The Explorers were trailing 16-11 after the first quarter. They then outscored the Rams 12-4 to take a 23-20 lead at the half. LaSalle held VCU to just 34.8% shooting from the field in the first half. With junior Ais Magassa leading the Explorers with 8 points, both teams came out firing in the second half as VCU held LaSalle 15-13 in the third quarter, setting up a tightly contested final period. Jolene Armandires led the Explorers in the frame with 5 points. The fourth quarter was a back-to-back battle featuring 3 ties and 6 lead changes. With 37 seconds to play, sophomore Aris McToon nailed a clutch bucket to tie the game at 48-48. LaSalle then came up with a crucial defensive stop, setting the stage for Ashley Connor to drain a game-winning buzzer beater, sealing a 50-48 victory for the Explorers over VCU in the first round of the Atlantic 10 tournament.
This past weekend, men's basketball traveled to Washington, D.C. to take on George Washington University. LaSalle led early thanks to a 3-pointer from Jaleel White, but the Revolutionaries scored 21 of the next 27 points to build a 23-11 lead with 10 minutes remaining in the first half. The Explorers countered with a 10-2 run to climb back to the game 25-21. George Washington ended with the half on a 17-4 run to take a 42-25 lead into the break. LaSalle came out strong out of the break, scoring 8 quick points to slice the lead to single digits. The Explorers got as close as 5 points with 13 minutes remaining off a pair of Deuce Jones 3 throws. Down 47-40, the Explorers rained in shots from beyond the arc. Demetrius Lille and McKeithen splashed 3 consecutive deep balls to get as close as 2 points, 48-46. The Revolutionaries mounted another run to get back up 8, 58-49, with 7 minutes left on the board. LaSalle continued to fight, pulling it back within 5 of a dunk from Jones to Shepard to cut the lead back to 5, 60-55. The Revolutionaries slowed the game's pace to a crawl and were able to trail the clock with a strong defensive LaSalle fall. LaSalle fell 71-60.
They then took on George Mason, starting off strong, jumping to a 12-4 lead behind 6 points, each from Tunde Valberg-Fasasi and Jaleel White. After a 6-point run from the Patriots, Valberg-Fasasi responded with a driving layup to keep LaSalle in front. An 8-0 run pushed the Explorers' lead to double digits, marking their first double-digit advantage since December against Immaculata. George Mason chipped away late in the half, hitting back-to-back threes, but Corey McKeaton delivered a clutch triple just before the break to send LaSalle into halftime up 33-26. Going into the half, George Mason came out firing, opening the half on a 10-1 run to take its first lead since 2-0, going up 36-34. The Patriots kept the pressure on, extending the lead 45-36 before Deuce Jones finally broke LaSalle's scoring drought with a field goal at the 12:30 mark. Jones and McKeon took control, making key plays on both ends to trim the deficit 54-51 with 8 minutes left after a Mason basket. Deshaun Shepard scored on back-to-back possessions to bring the Explorers within 2 with 5 minutes remaining. Both defenses stepped up down the stretch with just 13 total points scored in the final 5 minutes. Despite a strong push, LaSalle couldn't close the gap, falling 69-62.
Wow, what a roundup.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing the opposite. I feel like in the beginning of the year, it was men's basketball winning. They had an amazing beginning of the season, and now
now it's the women's
taking over. And then both games, VCU, the first game, they only won by a point, so we didn't really know what to expect going into the Atlantic 10 championship game, and it was a very close, tight game.
It was tight.
It was very tight.
Both games. I think that just shows how competitive both teams are and how much they want it. And I feel like maybe LaSalle learned a lot from that first game. So then the second game, they've just kind of progressed on their weaknesses and got the win.
Yeah, and you mentioned wanting it, so I hope they go into this next game.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
they play at Duquesne, next one. I hope they go into this next game wanting it and wanting to advance because they're like the underdogs. No one expects them to win a championship, so if they can somehow,
that would be awesome.
just like St. Louis won the A-10 last year, and Ashley
knows?
Connor was on that team, so I'm not saying anything, but maybe it could happen. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Gwen got to sit down with some of the members from her track and field team to talk about their recent A-10 championship race. You don't want to miss it.
When a child in your life requires intensive care, their health fragile, their condition complex, certified acute care pediatric and neonatal nurse practitioners will give you the information and support you need to make the best decisions for your child, while providing the critical care your child needs. Trained to diagnose and manage life-threatening conditions and emergencies, they are trained to make a difference. Learn why at certifiednurses.org.
Welcome to On the Sideline. Today I'm joined by two members of the track and field team, Gavin Andrews and Jillian Levitt. Thank you both for coming. First off, I want to congratulate both of you for competing in your first A10 indoor championships. Is that right? How was it? It was just past weekend. How was it, Gavin?
It was definitely new. It was different for sure. Really high level compared to what I'm used to.
Is it very different from your competitions back home, like the major competitions in high school?
Definitely, because it's such a higher level of competition from what I'm used to. It's just so new. It's crazy. Everybody's really good.
Yeah. What about you? How did you find it?
I'd say it was pretty overwhelming. There's just a lot going on. The lights are really bright. It was kind of hard to focus on what I needed to do, but it was a good time though. I liked watching everyone compete. Had a good time myself. Yeah.
Nice. And then what did you guys both compete in at those?
I ran in the 60, the 200, and the 4x4.
How was it?
It was a lot, considering the circumstances. It was all right.
Did you enjoy doing that much, or did you want to focus more on one?
Oh, I'm good for everything. I'll do it all.
Nice. And then what about yourself?
I did the 3K. It was pretty good. I had a quick little 2-second PR in there. Can't be mad with that.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. And then just because we've just finished our indoor season, how would you round up? One good thing, one bad thing maybe from that season? Gavin, what about you?
One good thing is I'm really excited for outdoor. I'm seeing a lot of potential with everybody on the team. Just really looking forward to going into outdoor. And
then what about something that you've learned from it?
Something that I've learned is to just keep pushing through, perseverance. No matter how bad the times may look, there's always a brighter side to everything.
Nice. And then what about you?
Yeah, one thing I'm excited for, definitely outdoors. I love just being outside running more than being inside on that short track. And then one thing I think I've learned is just to don't count yourself out and just stay in it, stay connected.
Like that. And then both of you are freshmen, which is very exciting. So hopefully you enjoyed the season so far and things. But coming from high school, what would be the biggest adjustment, would you say, training-wise, competition, maybe the team or the coaches? Do you want to start us off, Gil?
I'd say probably just like the training. In high school, I was definitely a low mileage, high intensity, I'd say training, but now it's more of a little bit higher mileage and less intensity, but longer, like tempo reps, I'd say.
What about yourself?
I'd say the training as well. Even though my high school training was pretty rough, this is definitely another level of roughness, and the competition is still just a lot better.
Yeah. And then now we're moving into outdoor. Do you have any goals for the outdoor season, Gil?
I'd just say I want to stay healthy and just have fun, keep getting better.
Nice. Then what about yourself?
Run as fast as possible, try and break some records,
Yeah.
see what we can do. Have some
I'm
fun.
excited for the outdoors because I feel like on the distance side, the coaches very much focus on the outdoor more than the indoor season. I don't know if that's the same with you. So I think you yourself have progressed crazy in this outdoor season, so I'm excited to see what you could do outdoors. Is that the same with you, kind of? Like they focus more on the outdoor season?
Yeah, it's definitely set up for us to peak outdoor championship season. So right now, just laying the groundwork and setting the foundation for everything.
Nice. And I know we do the cross-country season as well. What do you tend to do during that period of time in the winter?
Usually it's just staying consistent with our workouts, whether it's with people on our own. It's just still getting it in regardless of how we got to do it.
Nice. And then, like I mentioned, you both are freshmen. How's the team welcomed you? Have they been friendly? Gil, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, the team's super friendly, super nice.
I
Really?
hope so.
Really welcoming. Yeah, I feel like as soon as I came in, I was a little nervous, starting in a new place, but everyone's so welcoming. It was so fun.
Did you have a team in high school?
Yeah, I came from a team we had a really strong team dynamic. So I feel like I was just hoping that was something I'd find here, and I'm glad that it was. Yeah.
And then what about you? As the team?
Oh, I love the team. It's fantastic. It's like a big family.
Yeah, nice. Did you always have a team when you were in high school?
Early on I did, but towards my senior year we had 10-ish people on it. So it was a really big adjustment from a really small group to a really big group.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome.
Nice. Because I come from a background where I didn't have a team.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to LaSalle with having loads of girls, I had to get used to it very quickly, being always running with people because I always ran on my own. So it's nice having that team, and especially our team, I'd say is quite supportive and everything like that. And then because we've done a lot of competitions now. We've done 4, 5, maybe even 6 competitions this season. Do you guys have any superstitions or rituals before races?
Trying to think.
I can come back to you. Do you have anything?
It's got to be just praying before every race, whether it's
Okay.
on the line, in the blocks, just right before.
Have you always done that?
Yeah. I've definitely felt it more as just keep leveling up, but yeah.
And you find that it helps you a lot
Oh,
to stay
absolutely.
locked in and things.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Do you have anything?
Mine's kind of silly, but in high school, I'd always have this pair of duck socks, gotta wear them
Yeah.
every race. But I feel like I've kind of outgrown them. But I keep them in my bag. I make sure that they're right there in that little pouch if I need them.
So you don't wear them, you just have them
Not
there?
anymore, but they're there I've had them all season.
Have you washed them?
Next question.
No, I think superstitions are good. I think as athletes and when it's all on you, having that superstition can make you locked in and focused. Last year I had a muffin theory. I don't know if you've heard about it from the team.
Oh, yeah.
But we were obsessed with having a muffin before a race. Don't know if it works, don't know if it does anything, but it's cool. And then going from the food side of things, then we always like to have a sweet treat, don't we, at the end of the day? Do you have any sweet treats?
Sweet treats?
Is that a thing?
Not
in the-
specifically.
in your team?
I'll try to eat as much as possible all the time, but
yeah.
not specifically.
You
I
don't
guess.
finish off the night with a little sweet treat?
Probably
What's your go-to?
go-to. If I really had the choice of anything, probably honey buns.
Oh,
But
what's that?
it's it's almost like a glazed donut kind of,
Yeah.
but more bready.
Okay, nice. And what about you?
I'd probably go with the ice cream, treetops.
Treetop ice cream? Which
Or
flavour?
I'd say the cookie dough
Any toppings with it?
and chocolate jimmies. On a cone, but sometimes they don't have them.
What's the chocolate Jimmy?
It's like a sprinkle, but chocolate.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know.
okay. I got you.
Yeah.
And then Rest days. Do you guys have rest days in your break?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
definitely.
Do you think that's very important?
Oh, extremely. Because if you just keep loading on just like hard day after hard day after hard day, then it really takes like a toll on your body after a while. So a rest day here and there is definitely needed.
What's your favorite thing to do on that rest day?
Probably stretch, for sure.
Yeah.
Just get like a deep stretch.
Nice. And what about you? What's your favorite thing?
I kind of just lie in bed all day. I don't know. I take rest day pretty seriously. I don't think I do anything. It
Just rot.
yeah, pretty much.
Nice. I love that. We used to have a rest day on Monday. It was always like the day I'd go into the city because I also didn't have any class. But now things have switched up, so I've got classes like every day. So sadly, I can't go to the city on my rest day as much. And then last question. I feel like very different training we have here. What's your favorite kind of training? Like training day, or do you like prefer easy runs, workouts? Gil, what would you say?
I kind of like Wednesdays are medium long run day. I go after class, and it's now getting warmer, so that is a +1. But also head down to the Wissahickon, get on a couple of trails, just soft surface, good for the legs.
I think that's a very hot take. I don't think
Really?
a lot of people like
No,
the
I
MLR.
love my MLR. I kind of just like, I do it by myself a lot, so I'm kind of just like, I'm in my own head, I'm going slow, I'm just thinking about the day, whatever I need to. It's really peaceful for
You
me.
like to release the stress.
Yeah, I
of the
like
day.
it.
Nice. And then what about you? What's your favorite?
Mine's probably sprint days, like mechanic days, getting everything like super technical. But I do love a good bite down hard workout every now and then.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming today. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give you all the updates of the upcoming games and everything like that. Thank you.
We put our trust in professionals with years of training to help us lead healthy lives. We rely on them to do their jobs with diligence and dedication, because if they don't, our lives are on the line. Clean water is essential to survive. 98% of fresh water lies underground, which must be accessed by trained groundwater professionals. One trained groundwater professional can ensure the health of an entire community. Don't take clean water for granted. Learn how to protect our water at groundwater.okstate.edu.
Welcome back. We have a busy week of Explore Sports, so here's what you have to look forward to. Women's basketball will travel to Henrico, Virginia to compete in their A10 Women's Basketball Championship, taking on VCU Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Water polo will host the University of Toronto Friday at 7:30, and men's and women's track will compete in the ECAC IC4A Indoor Championships Friday and Saturday at 10 a.m. in Boston, Massachusetts.
Women's lacrosse will travel to St. Bonaventure, New York to take on St. Bonaventure University Saturday at 11 a.m. Men's basketball will host St. Joseph University for their last regular season game Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Lastly, men's golf will start their season Tuesday versus Wagner.
That just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorers play, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there. Before you go, we want to see you repping LaSalle. Send us a selfie from any upcoming LaSalle games via our Instagram, and you might get a shout out in the next SportsLine episode.
For our entire SportsLine team, I'm Riley Kapchuk.
And I'm Gwen Good. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.